the Democratic Alliance has laid criminal charges against the ANC's top six. The ruling party is accused of failing to pay staff members their UIF contributions. Joining me now is DA leader John Steenhuisen, who's going to talk to us about this particular matter. John, a very good morning to you, and thanks indeed for your patience. You have written to the Minister of Labour, Thula Nxesi, about this particular matter of ANC staffers not being paid. What exactly are you asking for from him, and have you had any responses?
Well, both Michael Cardo and Michael Bagram, who serve on the Portfolio Committee on Labour in the National Assembly, have been driving this issue. And they've written to Minister Nxesi specifically around the UIF payments on behalf of ANC staff members who claim that they've been paying the UIF. It's been deducted from their salaries, but has not been paid over to the department. And obviously, as you know, this is a criminal offence and it needs to be dealt with. It puts their staff members in incredible risk. It is not right that the governing party expects other people to pay the UIF contributions and to make sure that that's done on time to protect workers particularly, but it's not prepared to do it themselves.
Yeah. John, if the claims are indeed true that the ANC has not been paying over the UIF contributions of their staff to relevant entities, the ANC could quickly fix this by basically backpaying whatever contributions that they would have missed, and you still would not have had a response from the Labour Department. Any set deadlines as to when you expect to get a response from the Labour Department?
Well, the matter is urgent, and as I said, I think there's a crisis of confidence here that needs to be dealt with. That, my worry is that if other employers see the ANC, who is the governing party, behaving like this, they themselves will start adopting the same procedure, and as I said, puts workers significantly at risk. They're paying every month for the UIF that's being deducted, and the day they need it, they're not going to be able to get it. Look, I think it's going to be quite tough for the ANC. We know their financial situation is dire. We know they're unable to pay deposits for the local government election candidates. We know that they haven't been able to pay their staff for most of this year on time. And so I think finding that amount of money, which has clearly been spent on other things, like party activity, rather than on paying over to the UIF, I think is going to be quite difficult for them. But, that really is their problem. It's not the workers' problem.
Yeah.
Workers should not be prejudiced when they've, in good faith, paid over their monies that they thought were going to the UIF, and now which are not.
John, the ANC leadership, you would have heard them a number of times on various media platforms saying that one of their biggest challenges right now is the new law that has been introduced, the Political Party Funding Act, which is making it difficult for donors to make significant contributions to that party. How is it that you are not experiencing same?
Well, remember, actually, when the new constraints came in, we right-sized our organization and made sure that we were able to bring our overheads in line with our fixed income so that we weren't able to ever end up in a situation where we couldn't pay staff. Look, I mean, they knew the risks of this bill. They were the ones that drove it through Parliament. And ironically, they are now the people on the hardest end of it.
Yeah.
I think that it's becoming very clear that not many people want to publicly give money to an inept, corrupt organization that cannot even field candidates in a local government election. And the fact that there'd have to be a publication of those people's names, I think, has scared a lot of them off. And, I think that this is a crisis, again, of the ANC's own making.
John, I know that you are probably running late for your next appointment, so let's both race through the next couple of questions. So the understanding is that you have laid charges against the ANC's top officials. That includes the president, by the way. Where was this done, and what charges are likely to follow?
Well, Michael Bagram and Michael Cardo laid the charges yesterday. I believe it was in Cape Town, at the Cape Town Central Police Station. And the charges are in line with the violation of the labour laws of the country, and I hope that they're going to be investigated without fear or favour, and with the same fervour that they would go after private sector organisations who were guilty of doing the same thing. You can't have two different sets of laws in the country, one for the ANC and its comrades and another for the rest of South Africa.
Yeah. The DA, John, much earlier, this was now during the July unrest. By the way, I think we're nearly 2 months now after that unrest. Talk to us about the charges that you laid at that time against people that your party deemed as instigators. Where are investigations in that regard?
Well, we're awaiting progress on those investigations, but we do know that there has been a task team formed in KwaZulu-Natal by the SAPS to look into those particular matters, and we hope they're going to be expedited. I'm in Durban again today for the launch of our poster campaign for the local government elections, and it's been terribly sad to see that the shops that are still closed, the burnt-out buildings that are still there, and to just see the needless devastation and waste and loss of jobs and livelihoods for many South Africans that are still evident here 2 months after the unrest. It's going to take a long, long time for Durban and KZN's economy to recover from this devastating blow. And I think that the people responsible for causing this devastation and causing the suffering need to be brought to book.
You were quite clear, in fact, when you were laying charges as the DA, that there are specific individuals that you think are being overlooked for one or other reasons. Are you able to unmask some of the people that you laid charges against?
Well, we laid charges against the Zuma siblings, as well as Mr. Julius Malema, and there have been a few others added to that as they've been brought to our attention.
Sure. John, I can't let you go without bringing the issue of your leader in the Eastern Cape, Ngababanga, who we understand may still be in hospital. Any news as to what led to that accident?
It's unfortunate I've not had an opportunity to speak to him. He underwent surgery and has been kept in ICU, and obviously with the COVID protocols, it's very difficult. But I'm very concerned about the circumstances, and we've already commenced an investigation within the party to determine what happened. And I know there are ongoing police investigations. I'm due to see Mr. Banga before the end of the week and get from his mouth his version of events, and obviously we'll make a decision about how we proceed from there. But it's a very, very serious matter indeed. 2 people have lost their lives, and it's something we're taking incredibly seriously.
How is his condition?
His condition is stable. He's been moved now to a more general ward, and that's why I'm hoping to be able to see him face to face to get from him exactly his version of what transpired on that evening.
Finally, John, as I let you go, you would know that there are those who are saying they're quite suspicious that your leader in the Eastern Cape, who doubles up as mayor of Gqeberha, he may have violated the curfew at the time of this accident, and there are those who are suggesting that he also may have a problem with handling his alcohol. How do you respond to those claims?
Well, I say we've got to wait for the facts to emerge. I mean, I can't comment on all I can say is that I am concerned about the circumstances. The violation of a lockdown law is not correct, but I do want to be able to speak to him personally and establish from him what his version of events was in terms of the RD Ultram Parton law, and we will then make a decision about how we proceed there. But it is something we take incredibly seriously, and as I say, we've already commenced an investigation within the party. And I look forward to having that discussion. And if there has been breaking of the law and if there has been behavior that's not becoming of a DA public representative, like we've taken action against other leaders in the past, we will act without fear or favor. We can give citizens the assurance that the DA acts when these types of things occur. But obviously, it's been difficult this last week because he's been undergoing surgery in hospital. But I think that once we're able to have that conversation, I think I'll have a better handle about what needs to be done next.
DA leader John Steenhuisen, thank you very much for your time and indeed your patience.